Call the meeting order at this time.
Fleming.
Here.
Patrick.
Here.
Frank.
Here.
Brett.
Here.
Linda. Here.
Okay, I'm going to say pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Brett, would you like to hold prayer?
In the name of Jesus, Lord, forgive me for everything that I've said, thought, seen, did, or didn't do, Lord. I'd like to thank you for this opportunity to gather here today. Thank you for everything that you do for us. I'd like to ask you to give us the wisdom and knowledge to do the best for this town. And thank you, Lord, for always keeping your hands on us. In Jesus' name, amen.
I'd like to welcome everyone. Today's April 25th, 2025. And Fleming on city regular scheduled meeting.
21st. It's the 21st.
I'm sorry, 21st. Y'all just call me out.
It's going to be a long meeting.
Yeah, and I'd like to give my buddy Ryan a shout out down Letcher County. He follows us good, he loves Neil. I'd like to ask the council to consider the minutes for the March meeting and also consider the financial statements.
Like to accept the minutes of the last month's meeting and the financial report.
I'll second.
Ken. Patrick. Frank.
Aye.
Brett. Linda. Aye.
Utilities report, Nathaniel wasn't here tonight. But I will give some updates. First of all, I'd like to apologize to the people and the council that I, was led to believe that we was getting really close to starting these projects. But today I found out that we need not plan on anything for probably 2026. I have a list here, a lift station repair project funded with FEMA and RD applied grant funds totaling approximately $1.5 million working with funding agencies on the release of funds. This is underway but can take several months to complete and get state and federal approval. We anticipate bidding on this project in 2025. I don't, probably 2026. I've learned anything you deal with the government, just wait till it shows up and is on the property working, and don't wait on your money, because it'll get there when it gets there. Has to go through about 4 or 5 different people, and everybody's got a cut out of it, and then it comes down to us. So, water line replacement, phase 1 project, still not finished, and I wish Nathaniel was here. We've been waiting almost 6, 8, 10 years on a PRV pit at Mac Roberts. Still not done, still not completed. About par for the course. Water line replacement phase 2 downtown project. The project will be funded with a $5.2 million RD Apply grant and a $1 million ARC grant. The grants have environmental checklist, of course, environmental. Items that CRAD and we are working on completed. This is underway but can take several months to complete and get state and federal approval. We anticipate bidding on this project in 2025. Once again, I say 2026, because we get nowhere in a hurry. Water line replacement, phase 1B, Mac Roberts project. The project will be funded with a $2.5 million AML grant. AML has said that funding should be committed by July 2026. Design will take place in 2026 after the grant is awarded. Construction will begin in 2027. I say 2029. Because once I get the cardboard check, then it'll be about 2 years before we actually get the money. And after I have this meeting, I may not never get another dime for this city, but I'm telling the people what's on my mind and the way it's done. We get these cardboard checks, but you never get the money. So we'll go right on down the line. Big list, we're promised a lot, but nothing's happening. Hangman Sewer Project Phase 1. The first phase of the project will be funded with FEMA funds and RD Apply funds totaling $3 million. This phase is to replace the grinder systems that are no longer working. We're working on the environmental and other RD required checklist items for this project. This is underway, but can take several months to complete and get state and federal approval. No date on that, so 2026 probably. Sewer 1-2 phase 1, working with funding agencies to modify the scope so that the last $400K in this project can be spent on manhole repairs. That's money that we've had for, when I took office, we had this money, but I'm sure it'll take another year to 50 or so people sign off on it and say that we can spend it. The way it works, I've been honest with people. Neon Heights housing project, we have approximately 40 some acres paid for. So as soon as we can find a partner to maybe find some housing, we'll get that rolling. That'll probably be going for anything. Wastewater treatment plant rehab project. This is also funded with a combination of FEMA and RD Apply funds of approximately $2 million. We're working on the environmental and other RD required checklist items for this project. This is underway but can take several months to complete and get state and federal approval. Might be 2029. No date on that. So, the good news is, we got $900,000 to do the city streets, redo the sidewalks, and work on the old city hall building. The only problem is the county has that money. Apparently they didn't trust us to spend it, so they gave it to the county. So now we got a middleman, which anytime you're at a middleman creates more problems. So the county don't have another meeting till the third Monday of next month at 10 a.m. So meantime, if I can get up with the county attorney, Jamie Hatton, and we can get an interlocal agreement with the county, stating we can spend our money, they will have to vote on it, and then we will have to vote on it, and if everybody votes for it, maybe in the next 6 months, we might get some of it. And the way this works is every time a contractor does a project, buys material, he's gonna have to turn in his invoices. We're gonna have to vote on it. Then we gotta send it down to the county, and then the county has to vote on it, whether the contractor gets paid or not. So if he turns in an invoice, he's gonna be 6 months getting paid. Craziest thing I've ever heard of in my life. It really is. I don't make laws though. And like I said, I apologize to the people. I apologize to the council. I've told you that these projects are gonna be starting, but I was informed they're not gonna be, so I'm sorry. Any questions?
Going back to the PRV pit, is them people completely paid yet?
No, they ain't paid.
Okay,
They're not paid. They don't care where they ever get done with it.
okay. I just wonder if
apparently-
we still owe them a little bit to kind of hold.
I
They don't care.
mean, maybe we can get someone else to come do it. I'm not sure. Everything's gotta go through the legal paperwork, but no, I'm not signing off on anything.
Okay.
I mean, before they get the PRV pit in, we'll probably have lines leaking. They'll be wore out. So, yeah. And I'll just, no questions? Does everybody
Pretty cut
pretty
and
well
dry.
understand that?
Pretty cut and dry.
Okay, so whenever we see somebody here digging,
We'll know it's happening.
we'll hope we got some money. And the thing is, the county gets to hold this money and draw the interest off of it. So the longer they can hold it, the more interest they can get.
Oh, yeah.
Also, I'll just go ahead and update you on another situation. Tried several different routes to get a bridge for Terry Sturgill up here at Terry's Trailer Court. It's got the 2 culverts in there, catching everything coming down the creek. And come to find out, that money is in the county projects. So, they'll have to should send it back to FEMA, like we had to do when they put half of Goose Creeks in our projects. Should have to send it back to FEMA. Then FEMA will turn around and issue it back to us, but I'm sure anything they'll get back right now, they're not gonna reissue. And, these people need a bridge, so. Yeah, it's one big, cluster. Any questions on that?
No, that's clear.
All right, we'll move on to public safety report. Dustin?
We've had 16 traffic stops, issued 18 citations, made 5 arrests, served 4 warrants within those 5 arrests, had 28 calls for service. Some good news, I'm sure, sounds like the mayor could use some. We just everything with our audit, we do an audit every 3 years through the LCJT and KLAC and everything. Police department's in great shape as far as paperwork and, everything that needs to be there for the PD. During this audit, some of the policy and procedures was brought up, simply because they was outdated. We had policies in there that was from 1989. This is 2025. So, once I found that out, I completely just scratched it all and started from one, there's 300 pages of new policies and procedures, all the way down from officers taking the knife. So there's 2 books of it in there, anytime you guys can just look at it or whatever. The new hire that we decided to hire, he passed his phase 1. He is scheduled for phase 2 at the end of this month. Pending how fast they get those results back to me, he should be starting within the first 2 to 3 weeks of next month. So, and that's about it.
Any questions for Dustin? Thank you, Dustin. With that being said, we'll move on to old business. Anybody got any old business? No old business? Okay. Trevor, do you have anything to report on, or I done covered all those for you?
You already covered a lot of it.
I didn't sugar it over to.
No, it's a long process, and a lot of change of administration, everything's going on now that can add some time to it. Not to add anything positive though, we did have a meeting with USDA the other day, and they went over their new environmental processes now, and some things have been cut, so their new requirements and things like that. So hopefully, those might go by a little bit faster than they have before in the past. But, yeah, like you said, everything's taking really long time right now, and we're hoping things can.
I hope Trump does away with all of them. I hope we can, everybody start burning coal again. I just gonna pile a fire in my backyard and say, don't fire, let smoke. Who cares? You know, who cares? We've got too many regulations. Too many regulations. So nobody got any old business? No. New business. We got some, resolutions we need to pass tonight.
They got the side-by-side thing.
Well, it's one of them.
Left that layer and put it in there. Yeah, I see.
First one is, my municipal road aid, resolution agreement that we do each year with the state, and that's paid quarterly, right, Steph? And we let them keep 3%, I believe it is, in case we have an emergency situation with the road, that they, will go back and help us. If we take it all and don't leave the 3%, then we're not going to help what we need. It's pretty much the same thing we do every year. And if y'all want to glance through it there before anybody makes a motion to,
So it is the same as we've done every year?
yeah, it's just the road aid fund that we get each year. Like I said, it's paid quarterly, and we let them keep 3%, and then if we have a bad road problem, then likely we'll get help.
Make a motion that we accept.
I second.
Patrick,
Aye.
Frank,
Aye.
Clint, Linda, Brett.
And the next one, is the authorizing resolution number, City of Fleming on pump station generator, which I think we voted on last time, but we wouldn't want to do that. We don't want to do that, Trevor.
Okay, yeah, I think we said that.
We don't want to, so, do we need to vote on it again, or?
No, I mean, she kind of wanted to do the time today.
Excuse me?
Since we've already defined it today, that should be all we need.
Yeah, we done this in the minutes from last month.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, thank you. Then the last one is, City of Fleming, Kentucky, authorizing the operation of street legal special purpose vehicles on designated public roadways within Letcher County. In pursuit of 2025 Senate Bill 63. Mitch, would you like to input on this?
Yeah, so Senate Bill 63 was something we passed this session to allow these special purpose, the street legal special purpose vehicles, which includes side-by-sides, some mini trucks. If you look at I included a statute in there. It's the language of the bill. It defines what that includes. And it also lists several qualifications that these vehicles have to be street legal. They've got to have a headlamp, tail lamp, brake lamp, and it goes on there, some reflectors. But it's, an all-terrain vehicle, utility terrain vehicle, mini truck, pneumatic tire, military vehicle, the full-size special purpose built vehicle. So it includes quite a few things that people will take up on trails. And it allows these vehicles to travel up to 20 miles as long as they're insured and registered, and they aren't used on restricted highways, so interstates, parkways, things like that. In the sort of give and take of passing this legislation, it started out as a opt-out program where the city would have to opt out if they didn't want to have these special purpose vehicles on their roads. Now it's an opt-in program. That's what we had to get the bill passed. So the city has to opt in if we want those vehicles legally driven in the city limits of Neon. I encourage you to do it. I think it's a good move, and it'll help with economic development if we ever get a trail system in the city.
Well, the only question I would have about that says under J, a working muffler. I was getting gas at the junction yesterday, and there was a side-by-side went by, and I don't know if that's factory or what. I didn't know if I was shot or what was going on. It was terrible.
Well, he probably didn't have a working muffler.
Working, or maybe it wasn't, OEM, I don't know, but
Well, we've got a great police department here that can figure that stuff out better than I could.
that wouldn't be real pleasant to come down Henry Hutton Road about midnight.
Yeah.
Got one at 4 o'clock in the morning, didn't you, Justin?
Yeah,
Got one at 4 o'clock in the morning, the other morning.
Yeah.
it was a kid.
A kid.
Yeah, so parents do better.
Yeah, and that's,
The kid didn't buy it.
Is there an age limit?
well, the age limit would be the same as a traditional vehicle license. So, yeah.
So with this, we can impose additional.
Yeah, we can, if we want to do something on top of what the state has permitted, if you say, yes, they're allowed on our roads, but only between these hours, you can do that. I don't know if constitutionally you could say that you got to be over 18 to drive it. That's a little questionable. But you can go beyond what the state is providing for here.
Now, to add to your question about the motors, Patrick, there's actually a KRS law. It's called inadequate silencer, and it has in parentheses motor. It's all vehicles that's had their Cadillac converters stole. It seems to be a popular thing nowadays. They can actually be cited. It's in KRS. It's not even a misdemeanor, it's just a violation charge. I will have to look into, because I don't think that it can get into more like the modified exhaust. If you got a 69 Mustang, you don't want it to sound like a Cadillac, But at the same time, if it's busting your eardrums, they could fall into more of a noise ordinance within the city versus able to charge somebody for a violation.
Right.
That might be something to consider with that.
What about helmets?
Helmets, well, that's not required in the Kentucky law. I think it's partially because it's the requirements they have for side-by-sides include having a roll cage, a windshield, seat belts. So, it's sort of, it requires a lot of things that make it more like a vehicle than motorcycles. And as far as I'm concerned, ATVs, like, your traditional four-wheeler, is not included in this definition because it doesn't have seat belts, doesn't have a roll cage. This is for the sort of vehicles that can function as a regular vehicle if, given the circumstances. So I think that's why, but there will be nothing stopping you from requiring a helmet. And I put in here the ordinance. I want to make sure you all have the one that I'm looking at here. Yeah, that one. I put in here that the effective date is June 27th, 2025. That's when all Kentucky statutes go into effect that were passed this past year, except for the ones that had emergency clauses. Those go into effect immediately, but Senate Bill 63 did not have an emergency clause. So it goes into effect on June 27th, 2025. So if you all decide you want to add some more amendments between then, you wouldn't be missing anything, we can't enforce it until then anyways.
So, y'all want to make a motion to accept this? Looks like it leaves it pretty open to do what we need to do on down the road.
I'll make a motion to accept.
I'll second.
Pat,
Aye.
Frank,
Aye.
Brett, Clint, Linda.
All right, so this is an ordinance, so it'll have to be read again at our next meeting and voted on then. So if you think of anything else that you want to add, maybe we can do it either to this ordinance or to a separate ordinance. We just have to, if we alter this one, we'd have to give it another reading. But that'll set us up to be in compliance. I think we're going to see all the other local governments passing similar ordinances in the short-term future.
Okay.
Do you have a copy of this ordinance?
I don't know what I was going to ask you for.
You can take mine.
While we're on that sort of subject, side-by-sides, not bad.
Ordinance.
And we try to be friendly with all
This is just the first.
four-wheelers,
That's really
motorcycles.
all that's
But
important.
the motorcycles on the back tires are going to stop.
Popping wheelies like crazy.
What about that, Dustin? The motorcycle, they have to, do they have to have a helmet?
Well, I mean, it's preferred,
I mean, if they're underage and they're riding,
if it's underage, yeah. You need.
I know you don't have to have one. Only in Kentucky you have to wear a seatbelt, but you don't need a motorcycle helmet. I understand that, but
But if you're 13 years old and you're riding wheelies through Main Street, then if I see it, I'm just gonna start towing them.
yeah, I think we just start impounding them. Let the parents worry about getting them out, because I have no problem with them riding respectfully. But, when they come through Main Street on a wheelie, that's getting a little bit out of hand.
Yeah.
And it's not all kids either. I mean, the majority of it, if they're riding right, then we'll wait for each other and go on. There's a few that's acts a little crazy.
Yeah.
I think a little bit of Andy Griffith type justice like that, taking it and making the parent come and pick it up would be a good move for our city, Put it on the parent. I like that.
Yeah. Anybody got any more questions concerning that? Alberta, what you got?
All kinds of stuff. First of all, our Easter extravaganza that we held a couple weeks ago was a huge hit. We hid 4,637 eggs, and all of them were found. We had a big crowd. I want to say a special thanks to the mayor and Les for filling in for myself and Rick. Of course, we had a death in our family and wasn't able to attend. So thank you, Les and Rick. I appreciate that. Rick will now be grilling all hot dogs in the city of Neon because he enjoyed it so very much. So thank you all for that. Special thanks to everybody that got involved with that. Neon First Church of God, Fleming Neon Elementary School, ICANN Services Incorporated, the Neon Days Festival Committee, a bunch of other people just all came together to make that happen for the kids, and it was a huge success. So thanks to everybody that came out and participated in that. We are still selling signs for our marquee here in town. Signs are $100. They change every 30 seconds, and those signs will run through the end of January. So it's pretty good advertisement for $100 for a year. So if you're interested in putting your logo on there, just reach out to me and we'll get that taken care of. We have actually somebody in training with the signs right now, and he's hit a bump in the road, but eventually it'll get straightened out. So if you are interested, just contact me and let me know. The first Thursday of May is always National Day of Prayer, which will fall on the 1st this year, and Fleming Baptist Church is going to be having a service at our stage on Thursday, May 1st, beginning at 6 o'clock. They're also inviting every other church in the community to come be a part of that service. If you'd like to participate in that, get in touch with the folks at Fleming Baptist Church. They'll take care of you. That's on Thursday, May 1st. Our first cruise in Neon will be held at the old A&P parking lot, EOM building parking lot, on May 2nd at 6 o'clock. I won't be in charge for entering. We will have porta potties down there, and we will also have food that's going to be done by the Shriners, right? Food will be available. That's on Friday, May 2nd. Starting the first Saturday in May, the festival committee will start having roadblocks at Neon Junction. They will usually run from about 9 to 12. All that money that we collect now through the first Saturday in September will go back into our festival. We do this so that we can make all this stuff free to the kids. So if you're going to be in the area, make sure you stop and give us $1 or $2 if you can. It'll be at Neon Junction, and the first one will be on May 3rd. Our rededication to Danny Kinser Memorial Park is coming along great. That's going to take place on May 17th from 10 until 4. We went last week and bought new commodes, sink basins for both of the bathrooms. We painted up there, got the concession stand painted, bathrooms painted. Of course, the field looks great. That rededication will be, like I said, on May 17th, starting at 10 with opening ceremonies. At noon, there will be a game between the Blue Jays and the Yankees. At 1, the A's and the Cubs. At 2 o'clock, we'll have a minor league baseball home run derby. At 3 o'clock, a minor league softball home run derby. At 4, a major league softball home run derby. And at 5, a major league baseball home run derby. So we're going to have a 4 day of activities up there. We'll have free hot dogs, chips and drinks to everybody. We are planning on bringing the Kinser family in to recognize them, as well as everybody that has contributed to that park up there. And it's going to be a huge day of a lot of fun. So we'd like to see everybody come out for that. Also, we are selling signs for the park. We would like to put signs in the center field, left, center, and right field of former players and managers that have played on that field. So if you're within the sound of my voice and you know of anybody that actually was a coach, a manager, or a player prior to now, we would love to get a sign up there for them. The signs are $150 and they will remain there until next season. Also, on the left-hand side and right side of the field, we're using that fence line for businesses, organizations, churches. Those signs too are $150, and we'd like to sell you a sign there. Once again, all of this money will go back into refurbishing the park, and we've done a really good job up there so far. We've still got some things still yet that we have to purchase, and that money that we get from those signs will go right back into the park. So we encourage you to come out for the rededication on May 17th, and like I said, if you were a previous manager, coach, or player, give me some information. The team you played on, the your team number, your jersey number or whatever, and we'll put you a sign up there. We sold quite a few so far, but we are still selling more. You know, we're all about making money, so if you'd like to do that, we'd love to sell you a sign. Also, special thanks to Mitch here, our state representative. He is sponsoring one of our dugouts, and also Smoky Water Campground in Rutledge, Tennessee. They are sponsoring the other dugout, so special thanks to them for doing that. Once again, it's all about the kids. You know, we want to do everything that we can to get people involved in this park again, so be sure to try to come out and join us. Also, starting in May, I don't have a exact date yet, but I'm hoping the third Friday in May, we're going to have a band on stage. It's going to be a free show for a couple hours. We'll have one every month, once a month. I'm shooting at May 16th for our first one. I have 6 bands that have committed, but I haven't gotten a definite as to who's going to kick us off. If y'all watch our Facebook page, we update everything there daily, practically. But we will be having that. It's free. It's not going to cost anything, but we will invite vendors, food vendors, to come up, and they'll be able to sell food. So we're just getting ready to do a lot of good things here in town. Once again, the cruise in, it always brings in a good show over at Jenkins. I think they're going to do their first one in Jenkins on Saturday night. The first one here will be on Friday night. And that'll be on May 2nd, I think it is, 6 o'clock. So y'all try to come. We will have some picnic tables down there. However, we encourage everybody to bring their own chair, just in case we don't, we don't have a lot of place down there for people to sit. But other than that, like I say, we got a lot of stuff going on. We are looking for committee members. If anybody's interested in helping us out, we sure would love to have you. I recruited one this week and actually just signed Clint back up a little bit earlier. He kind of got away from me there for a while, but he's back on now. So we definitely need some manpower. If you've ever been on that committee, you know it's a lot of work, especially in September. It's even more work now because we're doing things all year round. So if you can come and help us, we'd love to have you.
Questions, Robert? No questions? Thank you, Lou. I think maybe next month, the physical court meets the same day we do. So if they meet at 10 o'clock that morning, maybe myself and a few council members or all of us can attend and find out why that we can't get none of these houses tore down in Neon that's in the 2022 flood, because we're going on 3 years, and these are a health hazard, and if they've been purchased, they need to be tore down. If not, then we're going to have to intervene, Mitch, and try to get them out of the way or do something with them, because we have citizens complaining over the odor coming from them, and I'm sure they're infested with everything.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind just giving you a bulldozer and letting you go at it. It's a big problem. From my house, I can see a dilapidated home, and I can see at least 2, and then I can see that old chimney and stuff. If we're going to have the kind of city people want to move to, you got to get rid of those eyesores.
Yeah, I can't understand why it's been 3 years and we've not had the first house tore down yet. But like I said, I have people complaining of the odor coming from them. They're full of water and mud, and like I said, they're probably everything in the world in them. They've just been sitting there. So, but we may have to attend the next physical court meeting if I can get a couple of you guys or ladies or gentlemen or whoever to go, and maybe we can question and see. I think ERCS might be handling that. Maybe we can ask the Laura. She can tell us.
Just get right on it.
Yeah. Any public comment? No public comment? Motion to adjourn. Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Okay. Clint? Patrick? Frank? Brett?
Aye.
Linda? Aye.